Hello, Rod here. I'm in the sanctuary. I want to send out this brief video to bring some information and hopefully wish you also, give you also compliments of the season. Um, First off, I want to just mention quickly that a reminder that there is a Christmas Eve service. It's at 6 p.m. this year. It should be a fine service. There's excellent music prepared. The string quartet is here. Choir is prepared. There's a brief kind of cantata with words and song, which narration and song, which should be basically tells the Christmas story. So we're encouraging to do that. Jason Gathcart's wonderful piece, Son of Winter, will be also featured. And so will a children's story called Clarence the Candle, and you won't want to miss that. It was also written by yours truly, but I think it's an enjoyable piece for Christmas Eve for the children that are present. So also I'll remind you that I'll remind you that there's no service on Sunday, December 25th, on Christmas Day. There's no service. On New Year's Day, January the 1st, there is a service, but it's a little different. We're going to gather at 10 for a lovely continental breakfast. There'll be lots of goodies on it and lots of things to eat. You won't go hungry, and there'll be fruit and cheese and buns and of various kinds, and probably a few sweets and things thrown in. So please plan to attend that if you can, and then at 10:30 or so we'll enter the sanctuary and have a brief communion service with a very short meditation and a couple of hymns and prayers, of course. And the serving of communion will be by intincture. You will be invited to come up, take some piece of bread, dip it in the chalice, and commune, and immediately eat, and then return to your seat. That's I think quite an efficient way to deal with this small informal service. And we'll use the small table down at the ground level, and I want everyone who does come to please come and sit right up front. It'll be quite intimate. It's dress casual. I'll just be wearing a sweater, something like that, and we'll just have a good time together as friends. So that's New Year's Day, and we can wish each other a Happy New Year on that occasion. There's also some sad news, of course. Most of you may have heard, perhaps not all, that former Minister David Vincent passed away December the 12th. His funeral was last week, and he was a much-loved person and much-loved minister, a good friend of mine, and we shared many good times together, both before he was a minister here and actually after he was a minister. He was involved at varsity in the program Side by Side, which is to reach out to people with dementia, which unfortunately David did have at the end of his life. Also, just coincidentally, that was December 12th that he passed, and on December the 11th, Charles Scott, who was one of the first ministers of varsity, I think the first minister, certainly the one that most responsible for the building of the building, and one of the hall in that building is called Scott Hall in honor of Charles, and another good friend of mine, and sad to see that he has passed as well on the 11th of December. Now, there's a few other announcements, one of them, this is really good news. We did receive a very generous gift from Isa Tikkanen, enough to refloor the narthex. We will also repaint it, and it's going to be done with a commercial grade carpet tile, and it'll be excellent. It stays good for a long time, and so I think that will be happening in within the next couple of months. Sometimes, of course, the material now has to be ordered and that sort of thing. And but we will be having a few work bees just before the new carpet's laid. We can save ourselves a good little chunk of money by removing the carpet ourselves with the help of friends. Some of our younger folk from CKPC, I'm sure will be happy to jump in on a Saturday morning or something, and we'll rip up the carpet, and if there's any screws that need to be screwed down, that kind of thing under the carpet, we'll do that just and get it ready. But then also we want to paint the walls, and I think we can do that ourselves as well. So, and then after that, the carpet will be laid. Anyway, that's all good. It's all, the place will look like it's loved and looked after, and it certainly is loved. And sometimes it's just time to do things, and that's one of the things it's time to do. So, well, that's good news, and that's great. And you're about to receive, by other communication, information on the search. It's be brought up to date on that. And also, there'll be a brief report from last week's session meeting. And so we're doing our best to try to keep you informed in a variety of ways. So I look forward to seeing many of you, I hope, in 2023. You might find it in your hearts to let me say one more thing. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your generosity throughout this past year. Although church attendance has been low, online attendance has remained strong, and offerings are good. And I believe that we will end the year with, if not a surplus, at least a break-even situation, or so close to it that it amounts to a break-even. The new campaign, the reestablished new campaign at $5,000 is now within something like $130, $138 of goal. So if anyone wants, before the end of the year, to make that contribution, to add it to your tax benefits and so on, that would be appreciated. And also just a reminder that all offerings have to be in before, or on the latest on the 31st of December in order for credit for this year. However, if it's late, you'll be credited for it next year. So all of those things are all positive and good, and I think despite all things, ongoing COVID and other things like flu and so on, everybody please get your vaccinations, and we'll get through all of this. But we are still alive and kicking, and we have great plans for the future, and we want everyone to feel a part of what's going on. So that's my message. So here's the end of my message. Everybody have a very happy, Merry Christmas and a healthy, prosperous New Year, and blessings on all of you. Thanks for listening.